Hello, guys. Welcome to the newest episode of the BarnCast. I'm your host, Farhan. And joining me today, fresh from having his third arm replaced? It's still there? I don't know. It's Neale.
Hello.
And, of course, an episode of Barnyard isn't complete without Jackson.
Mr. Barnyard? Is that me? Is it my cue? Did I miss my cue? I'm here.
Senor Barnyard.
Senor. Yes, it is I, Senor Barnyard. Hello.
Here we are, but 1 week later.
Yes, exactly.
All right. In today's episode, honestly, we have a lot to discuss because right after we finished recording, literally the day after, they always hit us with the biggest bit of news. We've got a pretty packed week. But before we start that, Jackson, what have you been up to, my guy?
Yes. Well, I have recently been up to the Maitland Team Tournament. I don't know the official title, but it was a 5-player team tournament with 18 teams and 90 players. And
oh my god.
Yeah, I feel as though anyone who's been watching the streams would know already because I've been saying it a lot in the streams. And I am making a video for the whole experience. But yes, that's where I was for the entire weekend. I went pretty well. I won all 5 of my games, which was really nice. Some were pretty close wins.
Cool.
Well, some were pretty close wins, to be honest. And I think 2 of the people I versed, even though they were really, really lovely, they were quite new to the hobby. So yeah, it was unfortunate that they got paired into me because I've been playing for a long time. But we still had fun. And it was also unfortunate that I literally called that Evil Jack would be late. I literally I got out of the car with Dalton from the Risky Rollers as we got there. And I said, well, Jack will probably be late. He's always late. And then literally his car breaks down and my entire team was late. And we forfeited 4 of our games, which was nice.
Sounds like what you need to do is you need to get reliable partners in your team.
Either that or reliable vehicles, apparently. But yeah, other than that, it was really good. There was a member of our team that we had join at the last minute, Ben. He was incredibly lovely. Shout out to him. He absolutely crushed all of his games, except for one, the last one where he got matched up against Chris Wright, who is the best Eldari player in Australia, and maybe even the world, who knows. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but otherwise he did really well. So shout out to him. And in other news, I have been painting a Farseer Skyrunner in preparation to go down to the Risky Rollers on this next coming weekend to play in a doubles tournament that they are hosting. So me and Dalton are doing a bit of a swap, and you will be able to see, hopefully by the time this goes up, the pictures of this Farseer Skyrunner that I'm painting in Treasure Planet Solar Surfer scheme.
Hey.
Yeah. On my Instagram, which is in the links below.
Yeah, well, my god, that's quite stacked.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, you going with Evil Jack to Melbourne.
Yes. Evil Jack and we're both going to Melbourne. It's Good Jack, Evil Jack yet again. So I hope he turns up this time because it'll be pretty hard to play a doubles tournament on my own.
Aren't you afraid that he's just going to be late to the flight?
Well,
yeah, exactly.
We'll never know. I'll have to see.
Yep.
I don't know, but I hope he's not because our team name is Samurai Jacks and we're both wearing kimonos.
Oh my god.
Are you getting on a plane in a kimono?
No, I will definitely not be boarding the plane in a kimono.
But he's leaving the plane in the kimono.
No, I will not be doing that
Whatever
either.
happens in the air, though.
No. I'm going down there on Friday and I'm playing on Saturday. So I will not be wearing the kimono until the day.
Are you saying you want to wear the kimono the whole time?
No, definitely not. On the Sunday, I'll be on the Risky Rollers channel as well. And I do not want to be wearing a kimono for that either.
Can we fit the word kimono in 3 more times?
Kimono.
Oh,
Thank you.
Fine.
I think I did it. All right. Well, that's
All
enough
right.
about me. What are you guys working on?
Talking about kimonos, Neil, what have you been painting on in Warhammer?
I've been sitting in my kimono in
Of
my
course.
art studio painting a knight.
In your dojo?
It's in my dojo, the painting dojo in my kimono.
Of course.
Yeah, with his hair and a top knot.
Yeah.
This is like some Karate Kid stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been practicing my swan kick on top of a large pole on above my house.
With a bunch of Warhammer lying around.
Yeah.
Green
Bit by
stuff
bit.
on, green stuff off.
Oh,
Why did you should have said wash, if anything. Wash on, wash off, or something.
Why would you take the wash off of your mini?
I don't know. It's too much wash.
You want the washer on the mini.
No.
Yeah,
It's,
come on.
It's there's a technique for that. It's called what is it? Like oil stripping or something.
It's
It's
you've
called
got
terps.
turpentine.
Well, we're getting derailed right at the beginning. Neil, what have you been up to?
I think I mentioned I'm painting a knight. The new
Yes.
knights, they leaked. Well, not leaked. They spoiled it. No, didn't spoil it. They previewed. They previewed a few of the new knight rules, and one caught my eye, which said if you
Is it
take a
an
knight
Imperial
in
knight?
your Imperium, it's an Imperial knight. It said if you take an Imperial knight, you don't screw up your faction bonuses.
Yes.
Glorious.
That a knight would be the exact knight-shaped hole in Deathwatch.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I'm
Beautiful.
getting a knight ready to run with the Deathwatch.
Look, man, I've been looking at the photos you've been sending as you've been building this guy. He's going to look so good.
Oh,
And,
I'm
like,
hoping.
I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about the style of it, but like, I feel like the kind of work that you're doing to make it look so unique is I honestly have not seen another model look like that.
He looks like
another knight
one of
look
the
like that.
Transformers. I think it's from the first movie or maybe the second Transformers movie.
The
where they,
second one, I believe.
Yeah, they meet the really old Transformer in the museum, and he's got the
SR-71?
walking stick. Yeah.
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 Old man knight.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna look at.
If you want to check it out, they're up on your Instagram, right, Neil?
No,
Not yet.
nothing on the Insta yet.
Not yet.
Oh, well, stay tuned.
Spoilers.
On Wrong Way, Go Back to find out.
Yes. At Wrong Way Go Back. Glorious.
And what about you, Farhan?
Me, I've been continuing on my quest, my oath, and I've almost finished. It should be done by tomorrow. That Realm Shaper engine. You know, life happens. Things get busy. Last week was quite a busy week for me, but we've been trucking along, and I've actually finished it. And now I'm looking, just about finished it, and I'm looking at what to do next. What do you guys say? Big dinosaur, little dinosaurs?
I think
Big dinosaurs.
Big dinosaur makes a huge impact.
I've got a Troglodon on the shelf that needs work. I've got a couple Stegodons and a couple Bastillodons. What do you guys think?
I like the
Have I just spoken words at you?
I don't know what any of those are. Pick the biggest one.
The
by
Troglodon
height.
is like a T-Rex thing that spits
that's
acid.
one. Do that.
It's okay.
That's all I need.
So
You
we-
said T-Rex, and I'm like, in.
You heard it here, folks. All right, I guess I'm going to work on the Troglodon then.
The way that I see it as a bit of a batch painting, I wouldn't say professional, but an experienced batch painter, I would pick the most exciting things to paint first, finish all of those, and then you're compelled to force your way through the really hard stuff at the end.
Who says that I have to do anything?
No. Look, you made this oath. You're the one who's saying that you have to do
I
it.
have made this oath, but what's to say that I'll just stop painting?
No, that you can't go back on an oath. No.
I just said that I would finish my Seraphon before I paint anything else. What if I just stop?
Look, just because there's a loophole in the contract that you made for yourself doesn't mean that you should break it.
You're too right. I'm a man of honor.
Yeah. And I think that painting the exciting stuff and then ending on the boring stuff is a good way to finish it.
I personally like to do a little bit of both. That way you kind of spread out all of the stuff that you're kind of groaning about.
Yeah.
Throughout. And then I like to finish the army on a model that I really am excited to look at when it's done.
Yeah.
I I find that more of a balance for myself.
Then pick that one and paint that one last.
Excellent.
Good advice.
But they're all exciting.
Okay, well we're getting nowhere then, Farhan.
Yes. I'll let you guys know next week, and I'll probably have most of it done by then too.
Awesome.
Guys.
Yes.
Before we move on to any of our topics, I really wanted to talk to you guys about this. One of our members on YouTube, Paul Van de Kamp, he goes by, has decided to take me up on my offer that I accidentally made at the end of our last episode.
Yep. Which was regale the people.
Yes. For those who have not heard, I very clearly stated, please tell us about your friends.
Instead
incorrectly.
Please tell your friends?
Yes, please tell your friends about us. But he's taken it on board, and he's taken it onto himself.
Smart guy.
To give me a little bit of information about his friend Bert.
Nice.
They've been friends for like 20 years, guys. They play the same video games, TV shows, and everything else. Except for 40K. And Paul had this question for us, and I thought it'd be really good for us to have a little discussion about it before we get on to the rest of the podcast. He wants some tips on how to get his friend into the hobby.
So I have some strong views about this, Paul. And I would like to say, if you've got a friend of 20 years, why would you want to punish them so badly? They've been your compatriot, they're your comrade through good times and hard times, and now you want to bankrupt them. I just think that's a very nice thing to do.
It could be a good prank amongst friends, you know? Like a very long term.
It's like turning up to your mate's house and going, look, I brought along a crack pipe and we should just give it a try.
We should give it a go together. You know?
Hey, what could go wrong?
You take half of it.
I'll take half.
But, Neil, if you had to get your friend more inclined towards the hobby, what would you do? Well, how would you approach that? I mean,
I would show them the animated Warhammer movie from a little while ago.
Oh.
And if that doesn't inspire them, nothing will.
Wait, do you mean the original Space Marine movie?
Yes, that's exactly the one.
That's the one.
Do you mean inspire them to never play this game ever? Or what do you mean when you say that?
I don't know about you guys, but
you didn't think that was a good film?
It was pretty inspiring to me.
No, I've watched a movie called Ninja Apocalypse that was rated 1 on IMDb, and I think that was better than Space Marine.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Well, you've crushed
the strong views.
You've crushed the hopes and dreams of 1991 Neil. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
1991 Neil.
I think that I would show them things like the Astartes stuff and the new Space Marine 2 trailer and the Dawn of War 3 trailer. Definitely not the Dawn of War 3 game. That's horrible. But those things are epic.
Yeah, look, there are some good gateway drugs as mixed media to get people going into the
that's very true.
The fantasy of it all.
I did want to go round table with you guys. So Neil, if you want to give your ideas, and then Jackson, and then myself, I feel like that'll give them a lot of place to go for it.
Are they plastic curious? Do you know whether they're into other board games?
It seems like he's attempted to. He's talked to him about getting an army. He's even offered to paint him an army. And he's linked him short form videos from Luton and stuff, and long form stuff from Look,
I gotta say, Paul, enjoy your friend for who he is, not who you want them to be. You've made the advances. You've been rebuffed. You're kind of at this point, you're in the Warhammer friend zone.
You really are.
You got to accept that. Yeah, that's my advice. I'm sorry.
Neil's got the pessimistic point of view today. Jackson, what do you think?
Okay. Well,
if you had to get a friend, I'd say even in general, if you had to get a friend involved, how would you go about it?
Okay, well, I think that this is a great question for me to answer, because not to give too much away, But in my personal life, I am an educator. I work in education. And as someone who's educated people on the world of Warhammer and brought probably about 1,000 people into the hobby, I would say. There's been a lot of videos. I've spoken to a lot of people about it. I've been playing for 13 years.
He's brainwashed a lot of people. You don't understand.
I've brainwashed heaps of people to get into the hobby.
Many children, many families.
Yeah.
They've lost homes.
And look, I think that I kind of stole Farhan's thunder in response to the comment, because Farhan, we know that you like to respond to the comments on your podcasts, but I kind of...
It makes me feel good.
Exactly. I kind of sneaked a comment into the answer of this one, which I think would be easier if I just read it out so I don't mess up my words. But basically I said, do you think that he has explored all the avenues 40K has to offer? If the answer is yes, then maybe it's sadly just not his cup of tea. And if no, maybe explore a new one. He might love building, painting, reading, making movies, or the game aspect, or listening to stuff about it, or even just watching the cinematics, as Neale suggested. It's a very diverse game, and you could definitely find something to love, but you don't want to drive him away in the hopes that he will join. Because I have also been there. It doesn't happen very often, but in the times of trying to get people to join, if you harass too much, or you pile it down someone's throat too much, or at all,
don't harass your friend, Paul.
It's too much for them to handle, and you end up ruining things that are good. And so you just basically just want to keep them the way that they are, and be happy with the things that you have sometimes. So that's my advice.
That's fair enough. Quite heartfelt as well.
Thank you.
Well, I'll give you my opinion, Paul, because this is something that I think about mostly because I was pulled into the hobby by friends, and having friends who are in the hobby is fantastic. It's fantastic, obviously, because it fuels your plastic crack addiction like us. But I think I agree with Neale, honestly. If you've had a friend for 20 years, I would say the most extreme thing to offer him is probably painting him an army. And if he still says no, because you've taken down all barriers of entry for this hobby. If you're willing to, do the work for him and get that all painted.
On a psychological level as well, people tend to do things that other people are doing because they think it looks fun. In the sense that humans are sheeple, right? So if you're happy with your friendship with him and you just accept it for what it is, and you go off and you play your own games with other people, and then when you meet up, you show him photos and you tell him about your experiences and stories, and he sees all of the fun things that you're doing, he may want to join. And that might be his choice. And then he's getting into the hobby on his own volition. But it also means that you're not dragging him into it. He's just doing it because he wants to do it, because he sees the fun that you're having.
Look, 40K, especially as a setting, it's very, very specific and very intense. I feel like for a lot of us who kind of follow the hobby, we understand its level of nuance and the fact that it's not all that serious. But for people who don't really indulge themselves too much as we have, really, they just see, firstly, they see the miniature painting and the hobby and think that I can't do that. And they see the barrier to entry, which has been there for a very, very long time. But when it comes to the lore, because I see you've shown him videos about the lore and stuff, and it just isn't his thing. It is a very specific genre. Not all people will like grim dark.
It's its own world.
Yeah, it's very, very deep. A person can solely have their hobby be Warhammer and have a lot of content to go through, and a lot of stuff that they haven't even explored. Jackson, you've been collecting for 16 years, you said?
13 years now.
13 years?
Yeah.
And I'm still telling you new information about the Imperium and about stuff that I know about the hobby that you didn't even know. And you were teaching me more about how the elder paths are and things that I haven't even known. And sometimes that's daunting to people. And I feel like if Bert wants to get into it, he will get into it through your enthusiasm and your willingness to help him out. But I feel like if he's not budging, it's better to just have him as your friend.
And I've spoken in previous podcasts that I think that as long as people understand and know exactly what they're missing already, then at that point, it's time to stop pushing. Like if they know what Warhammer is, they know armies and things, like they know stuff about the game and what they're missing out on, then it's time to stop pushing. I think that people who don't know what the hobby is, like they just think that it's some random nerd board game and they just insult it from the sidelines without knowing anything about it or the stories or anything. Those are the people you want to approach and give them another try, because they have absolutely no idea what it is. If you truly know what it is and you're happy not knowing anymore, then those people, I think that they've been tried and tested.
If you truly love Bert, let him fly away. If he comes back, he truly loves Warhammer.
Yeah.
All right. On that topic,
damn, that went
let's
deep
do
for a while.
some. Yeah, man. We don't usually do that kind of stuff.
No, we don't.
But
we hope we answered your question, Paul.
Yeah. We hope that helps.
Hope something
even though
gets
it's
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the comment as well. We really do. We love reading all the comments.
Like I absolutely adore the fact that anyone's listening, honestly. Let's move on before things stay in the somber tone. Neil.
Yes?
Do you have $500?
Why?
Necromunda Ashways.
Necromunda cash wastes, as it's being called.
Did you just come up with that on the top of your head?
I wish I had come up with that. I was complaining about this on social media, and someone put that in their comments, but there's like now 200 comments on that post. So whoever you were, very well done. I have stolen it, and I will keep using it.
I think we should clarify for those people who are worried about it being $500. It's 500 Australian dollars.
Yes, 475 Australian dollars, and enough to go for lunch afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys.
Yes.
We have on several parts of our podcast, on several episodes. In fact, it was the thumbnail of one of our episodes. Talked about Necromunda Ashways.
Yeah.
About the new setting, about the fact that they've gone into a whole new avenue for this hobby, for specifically this game, and how exciting that is. And then they make the box set 475 Australian dollars.
Yep.
I just want to point out,
I'm out.
In the UK, it's £180, which is around 315 Australian dollars.
Which is about what you'd expect.
Yes.
Is it?
And so,
wow.
Well,
Yeah.
You guys are,
about $300.
You're expecting a lot from the get-go. I'd pay like $150 for this.
It is a lot.
It would
of
not
money.
have been.
I don't think we would have ever seen this set for 150, but we should have seen it for 250.
I mean,
I would have probably seen it
day,
at 290.
back in the day, you'd get this many models for $150. And I understand that inflation is definitely a thing, but as someone who already owns blast templates, I think that I'd just rather get a conversion kit somewhere else.
I mean, wouldn't it
It's
just
brutal.
be better to buy the rule book and the tokens, print the tokens, use the terrain you have, and buy the mini separate? Like,
Sorry, Games Workshop, but that is just ludicrous.
$475.
That's absolutely ludicrous.
That's like...
And that $475 is $160 premium to get it from the UK to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is an extraordinary amount of money to hike up an already expensive box set.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. It's just one of those things where as soon as we saw it, as soon as we saw the price and the discussion about it, all of the hype just stopped.
I also feel like, sadly, I mean, I know everyone's been hyped about these models, and I'm sorry for those people listening that are really excited about the models, but I personally feel as though you could get models like this anywhere on the internet. The only unique things to the box are those little bug riders, the dustback Helamites. Those are pretty unique. Anything else just looks like a Tusken Raider. I mean, the trikes you could find anywhere.
That was kind of the cool part about them, right? The fact that they were...
Yeah, they're great.
They were Warhammer Tuskens.
I'm not denying that they're awesome models. I just think that for literally a tenth of the price, you could find them anywhere else, and make them look pretty similar.
It's insane.
So here's what I did. I really wanted them. I like the terrain an awful lot. It kind of fits in with the things that I like doing and with my GSC and stuff like that. And
you're a big Dune guy?
Yeah. And the new Ash Waste little dudes fit remarkably well with what I've done with the bikes and the trikes in GSC as well. So they are not going to be their own gang. They will eventually end up as GSC fodder for what I'm doing. But here's what I ended up doing. I contacted a store in the UK that were advertising a pretty hefty discount already, like 20% off the main box. And I found them and basically bought it for £140, which is, I don't know, $250 Australian, something like that. And then I'm getting it shipped to friends in the UK, and they're going to post it over here, and I'll pay them for that. And so that's almost half price, which is insane. Even that
seems ridiculous. Like, I mean, what do you get in the box?
It is pretty expensive.
10 guys.
You get the rule book?
The 4 dust mites, the rule book, the tokens.
You can't...
10 guys from the other side and 2 bikes. And it's still $250.
Jackson, you can't, compare in terms of model count. Because, when it comes to these kind of games, you will have a lower model count. It's all about the fact that there's a new rule book in it, new tokens, new pieces of terrain, and new factions for this smaller scale kind of game.
Exactly.
The issue is the fact that that's at an exorbitant price for a box set game.
$475 is crazy.
I would never think to buy this for anyone. Even if you're thinking of it as I'm going to buy this as a gift, no. I'm not paying $475 for a board game.
So here's a scary thing.
And I bought Gloomhaven.
Having spoken to some more people overseas, and there were a lot of people who comment on. If you commented on the post I did on Insta, thank you very much. There was 200 comments at the end of the day, and a lot of people unhappy with this. Not just here. A lot of people in the US unhappy with the price. A lot of people in the UK unhappy with the price. But I will say it's just. I don't know. If you take a look at the new 30K box coming out, the leaks I've had, the DMs I've had say that is about 30% on top of this box, which would mean that in Australia, the 30K box set that was kind of flagged on the mothership will be around 650 Australian dollars.
It's just not worth it anymore.
That's
that's
unbelievable.
Insane. I can understand that if you do the math and you look at the model count when it comes to those kind of things, then you're getting value. But I am not spending that kind of money on one box.
It's just sad. I mean, Games Workshop, if you're listening, I don't know if you are. It's sad.
James Workshop, banned from the videos.
Yeah, it's sad.
He's watching.
Especially for someone like myself that literally leads a channel that advertises your content that has been playing for over a decade. It's half of my life, essentially, I've been playing this game. And I hate the company. I think that they're horrible. It's just not representative of the community at all. And I feel as though they're going about it in a very horrible way. And the prices are just
thought about
ludicrous.
It in my head. I've just thought about it in my head. If you split that Horus Heresy box, you're basically buying a full box set of anything else before this yourself.
Yeah. And
at
in
$600. Like, that's
Dark Uprising. I think I
Dark,
went back and had
Imperium?
a look. Dark Imperium, that was $230 here in Australia, and that had 54 models, 62 models. There was 62 models, and then Indomitus was $290 and had 54 models, and this is $475 with 26 models and terrain.
Yeah, I still feel like you can't equate it in terms of number of models. I can see that as like in terms of the stuff, like
Just
the
raw
quote-unquote
sprues.
the raw things you get.
Does anyone
This
remember
is
how
garbage.
much? Do either of you remember how much the very, very first Kill Team box set was with the terrain?
I think it was pretty expensive. I think it was more expensive than I would think it would be based on other box sets. I think it was like $250.
Yeah, but
I think it was pretty pricey as well.
I considered that the equivalent of this, to be frank, because it had an excellent terrain kit and it had 2 10-man armies and some HQs.
When I started playing, I bought the Eldar Battle Force that had a Wave Serpent, 10 Dire Avengers, 10 Guardians with a platform, a War Walker, and a Farseer in it. And it came, I think, with some other little shrines and terrain and stuff like that. And all of that was $150. That's straight up from Games Workshop. No 10% from your local, good like
Friendly gaming store?
friendly gaming store or anything like that. And that's heaps of models. That's a whole tank, and a walker. At the moment, that would sell for like $300, which is just ludicrous. The current Battle Force has 10 Guardians and a Wraith Lord and a Farseer, I think it is, and it's more expensive.
We've had Jimmy on the podcast quite a few times now, and I know he was super excited about this as well. And when we discussed the price of Necromunda Ashways in our like group chat, our discussion for just how we organize this, he was out. I was out. He was out. Neil's found his loophole, but I would not recommend anyone buy this, honestly.
If you're in Australia, and you're not able to buy outside of Australia and import it, do not buy it. Just straight up, don't buy it.
It's just not worth it. Now that we're done grumbling, let's talk about the old grumblers of 40K.
Grumble.
Because, boys,
to men.
we got the stat block for our Mr. Dwarden.
Yep.
We got the stat block for our Mr. Dwarden himself.
Read it out.
He's got a movement characteristic of 5. Count them. 5 inches.
I know that makes
Weapon
sense.
skill. Ballistic skill of a 3+.
Makes sense.
Strength 4. Toughness 4.
Okay.
What's a Space Marine?
Yep.
He's got 1 wound.
One
Weird.
He's
Kind of
one
strange,
wound.
but okay.
He's got 2 attacks.
Yep.
I assume 3 on the Sergeant.
Yep.
Oh, actually, they've got the stat block for the Sergeant. He's got 3 attacks.
Yep.
But the Sergeant's got 2 wounds. And leadership 8 for the Sarge. The leadership 7 for the normal guys. And a 4-up save. I should also say they're called the Hearthkin Warriors.
And the leader
Definitely
is called the YN.
It's called what? It's called the Thane.
No, it says
the yin.
the YN. Yeah, the yen. Yeah,
The inn.
The yin.
the yin.
All right. So
I prefer the ein.
The ein.
All right. Here's what I'm worried about. I support my local game shop. We have a local game shop. I think everyone on this cast and a lot of the people you've seen on the channel use that game shop to
same
get
game
their
shop.
stuff.
Yep, we
Same
do.
game shop.
Yep.
Shout out to the game shop.
And I like supporting him. I've done a ton of Magic pre-releases there. I bought a ton of product, Games Workshop product there. But I am just brain-numbingly worried about how much this Christmas box is going to cost for a new dwarf army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think that we can name names. I mean, shout out to Larry. Larry is the best. He is truly awesome. So shout out to you, Larry, from our local game store.
Yeah,
But I agree.
he's so lovely that he expanded our paint range, so he has the complete paint range for the Games Workshop shops.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
I'm there every weekend stocking up.
Yep.
What a lad!
Yep.
But yeah, if this is going to be 10 or 20 warriors and whatever their vehicle is going to be and some sort of toll thing, and they're going to box it up for $475, my desire to buy them is going to be greatly
Severely
diminished.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've become very tentative after they announced a box set being over $400, $450.
Look.
It was $475.
Look, we have spoken in the previous podcast, and I don't want to grumble about prices for too long, but I said as like a conspiracy in the previous one that squats is the thing that they've been sitting on for a long time, calling that they would need it in like an hour of need, and they would bring it out because they would
tinfoil hat
know.
moment. I remember now.
They would know that loads of people would buy squats because they're just like that long lost army that loads of people would love to see, and they're going to bring them out. They're going to be incredibly, exorbitantly expensive, and they're going to make a lot more money from it.
Okay, so here's what I'm calling. I'm calling there will be a Dwarf versus Chaos Space Marines box set for Christmas.
Yeah, it's going to be all the dwarves versus Nurglings.
No, they won't. It'll be one of the older, unloved, but brand new models for Chaos Space Marines.
I would probably say that because we've heard through the great grapevine itself, the rumors are talking about like more heavy emphasis on like humans, like mortals, and the Chaos Space Marine Codex.
Yeah,
I could totally see this as being like the Leagues of Votann versus like cultists and their HQ models and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It also in talking about the stat block, because that's what we're really here to do as well. This I think that a lot of people were very confused that they weren't like toughness 5 or have 2 wounds or something like that.
I mean, T4 is a space marine, my guy.
Yeah,
that's
I know. And they only have a 4-up save as well, so they're not exactly the toughest thing out there. But if you read a bit closer into the article, it does say that they march in squads of up to 20. So I don't think that they're supposed to be something like a Marine where they're in squads of 5 or 10. I think, Farhan, you're right. They're going to be cultists and things like that.
They fit in the niche between Guardsmen and Space Marines.
Yeah.
In my eyes. They're going to be more swarm than a Space Marine army and less swarm than a Imperial Guardsman army.
Yeah.
And yes, I feel like these guys are going to be marching in 20s, but from what we've seen, I'm definitely going to expect this to be in a box of 10.
Yep.
Just like anything else that's like that.
Look, we've had sisters, we now have brothers.
This is what we always wanted.
Had brothers before.
Shout out to all of the followers who wanted male sisters of battle out there. We got them.
You got
What do you
them.
mean? Isn't that just Space Marines? Didn't we have that for like the last 30 years?
No, Space Marines are old eunuchs.
I thought that Misters of Battle, that was them.
No, it's them. Can't you see?
They are unisex. They are non-sex.
Yeah.
They've got
They
nothing
are
between the
unisex.
legs. Unisex.
When they refer to each other as brothers, it's actually just
it's just
a
nice
gender neutral
phrase.
term.
Like guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm not going to take that any further.
Yeah, let's move on, because Jackson, I gotta ask you, because I don't speak Canaanite.
Yep.
What beeth the changes to
the Daughters
blood
of Cain?
rights, sir?
So I recently have been building up and painting up my Daughters of Cain army. I'm pretty sure, as we discussed in the previous podcast, I'm trying to get them ready for this. I don't think I will have them ready in time because there's a lot to paint. But I'm pretty keen on
an entire
these.
army, some say.
An entire army. I'm keen on these new rules because I think, look, I'm a 40k player at heart, yes, and I'm going to say this: all the Sigmar players are going to be like, it's not like 40k, it's their own thing, etc., etc. Yes, it is their own thing, but it is becoming more like 40k, where they're changing things to less rerolls, and they're just creating modifiers so that you don't have to reroll heaps and heaps of dice, and you're making the game quicker. So add 1 to win rolls is the first one. It used to be reroll run rolls of 1. Then add 1 to charge rolls. It used to be reroll charge rolls of 1. Add 1 to hit rolls. It used to be reroll hit rolls of 1, etc. What's weird about the third one is that the avatar no longer says that it automatically activates. That used to be included on turn 3. The avatar was silent until turn 3, or you had to pray to him to wake him up. So that's not included. So that's an interesting change. And then I can't even remember what round 4 and 5 were, because you never get there. It never goes to that turn. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the same. I think it was reroll win rolls of 1, which is now add 1 to win rolls. And I think that the ward save is exactly the same. They use the whole army currently
at
has
round
a 6
5.
up.
Is it really that?
I think that
There's 6 models left.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really make any difference. And if they're going to keep it the same as what it is now, the whole army has a 6 up, feel no pain, ward save already. And then on turn 5, it just changes to a 5+.
To 5.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough. It does say exactly the same thing. The buffet of blessings comes to a climax around 5 when unquenchable fervor boosts the ward of 6+, enjoyed by all the daughters of Cain, to a fanatical 5. So
Good change or bad change?
I think it's a good change. I'm totally okay with it. I think Sigmar does need rerolls because there's a distinct lack of rerolls.
I think that's part of the flavor. I think that's part of the flavor difference between Sigmar.
Yeah, and it's very much part of the spectacle as well. Like if you fail your roll, that's just it. There's no ifs or buts. It's like what 40k used to be, but I'm used to my rerolls.
I've always felt that in the current editions of 40k, that has been something that I have like a small pet peeve over. It is command reroll. The fact that obviously in 9th edition compared to 8th, it's been severely reduced, which is definitely beneficial in my opinion. But the fact that you can go and roll a dice and then decide, no, we're going to do that again. It's really hit or miss, I'd say.
I love it. I think it's probably one of my favorite parts of the game. It's all of the things all of like the crazy moments that culminate into one crazy moment that boil down into one roll always happen on the CP reroll. Like you fail one save that's crucial to the game, and then everyone is looking at that dice, waiting for it to stop moving, waiting for you to roll it. And if you get it, huge rejoicing, and if you don't get it, it's like the most feels bad moment ever, and I love it. It's like,
see,
that's amazing.
My counterpoint to that, don't you just get that in the roll in the first place if you don't get the command reroll?
No, because oftentimes it's like you roll a bunch of saves and you just fail one. So if you're rolling a bunch of saves, it's not as exciting. There's not as much spectacle as like, oh, he's rolled all these dice and he's failed. Now it's just one chance, one final chance to roll. And if you get it, you get it. And sometimes it can make for an amazing spectacle.
But
as someone who has been on stream and continually failed to make a 7-inch charge.
Yeah, wouldn't you prefer just having a 6-inch charge?
Just give me even more +1 to the charge. Just give me a.
Yeah,
let's
Neil,
see
would you prefer to re-roll a dice for 7-inch charge, or just have one roll for 6? You know, like it.
That's
it doesn't fundamentally.
A very interesting statistical question.
I think
it doesn't fundamentally, in my opinion, change.
I think
it doesn't change the outlook of the game.
I think
as much as it changes the flavor of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that sense, you're taking chance out of the game, which is a more competitive view on it. But I think it's less spectacle, because if you have chance in your game, And then, yes, you're getting a second chance, but it makes it all the more intense, which is what you want.
I don't know. We can agree to disagree on the point, but like that's what I mean. Like, I feel like Age of Sigmar and 40K kind of have that kind of like balance to them, where one game can offer you one thing and then the other game can offer you something else if you prefer. And I feel like they're a great two sides to the coin.
I'd agree with that. I think, in 40K, because it is more competitive, there are more ways to reduce variance.
Yes,
right?
Yes. That is a very, very good way of phrasing it. Completely agree. All right. Speaking in 40K, let's flip back over to the other side of the coin.
The Grimdark.
The Grimdark. The grimmest, darkest codex cover I can remember.
Yeah, it honestly looks like a metal band from the early 2000s.
We're talking, of course, about Codex Chaos Space Marines cover art.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm dying.
Yeah.
But
put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's like the most
so
metal
grim.
cover art I've ever seen, and I love it.
Metal.
If you remember back, all the way to the first episode of the podcast, we discussed how we felt that 40K is losing its grim darkness. I'd like to see it come back like this.
This is going to make it very difficult to get all of those kids that I'm trying to get to play Warhammer to play Chaos Space Marines. Look, no
I don't want the
parent's
kids
going
to play
want to
Warhammer. Get your kids out of my
no
hobby.
Parents going to want to see the front cover of this book. Jeez, it's so.
Shout out to the bulbous man in the middle of the bottom of the cover.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It covers exactly what Chaos Space Marines do in their grotesque, twisted aberration of what a Space Marine is. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Guys, we are recording on Wednesday night.
Yes.
And the 40K reveal is in a few hours from now.
Yeah, 3 hours.
You reckon we're going to see some new Chaos stuff?
I would be keen for it, yeah.
I want to see more. I want to see Bulbous Man show up as a named character.
If I was sitting as a little marketing person in the GW sweatshop, which isn't the same as their...
Little Jimmy, the marketing guy?
Isn't the same as their factory sweatshop where some poor little 5-year-old orphan has to syringe plastic into a mold.
That's Tommy.
This is
my gosh. We're getting as grimdark as the Codex cover.
Yeah, this is just a photo of the
this is their social media team, I believe.
It's a group photo.
So if I was them and I've just pumped out a Chaos Knights Codex, which I've specifically said you can soup into Chaos Marines, and then I dropped a Chaos Marine Codex, I think I would definitely want some sort of box to sell to all the kids who are cross-pollinating later on in the year.
Cross-pollinating? That sounds horrifying.
That's what
and
Nurgle
once again,
does.
State, get your kids out of my hobby.
You know what is sad, though, and what's even more grimdark about this Codex cover? There's no mention of the artist.
Yeah.
There never is.
Games Workshop. What are you doing?
Well, they changed that practice, and I think it's silly. In my opinion, I feel like the
I don't
artist
know a
should be
single
credited.
person who doesn't want to know the artist, you know?
I'd put it on the first page. Just have the first page be a cover page.
Yep.
Just do that.
I'm trying to figure out when exactly they stopped. Just having a look at a couple of my codexes to see if it's clear who did the art in some of these. No.
Yeah.
And they edited the artist out the last year, didn't they?
You know, Neil, you're actually pretty close, by the way. Because at the bottom it does say in italics, better known as the Warhammer Studio, at the very bottom of the page on the Warhammer Community page. I think that is talking about the Warhammer Fest thing right above it.
Yeah, they're talking about they're talking about joining the people for Warhammer Fest. But
yeah, I know. But it is pretty funny that you scroll to the bottom and it just says in italics, better known as the Warhammer Studio.
Yep.
That's good.
So
100%.
I'm having a look at the 6th edition, and 6th edition, they had already started taking the signatures and names off artwork.
Yeah. I think that the craziest one is that Black Templar guy, the one of the Black Templar where he's walking and striding, and then they brought out that new model based on the original artwork, and they didn't credit. Yeah.
Ugh.
That's insane.
Guys, just credit your artists. Just do it.
Yeah.
Look, they worked hard on it. Give them something.
What amazes me is that their competitor, Wizards of the Coast, take a lot of pride in their artists and making sure the artists are credited on every card. And they turn up at Magic Fest and Grand Prix and sign things and et cetera, et cetera. And this company has the complete opposite. No, we've bought it, our IP, kick the artists to the curb after that.
Give me 2 seconds, because I feel like the better comparison is with D&D books.
Oh.
Because that's also Wizard of the Coast. I feel like... There it is. A cover page with credits right at the start of the book with a list of everyone who worked on it, including the art directors, the graphic designers, the cover illustrator, the interior illustrators, listed all of them.
Well,
including their contributors and everything else, just in the front page.
So it's possible. Listen to us, Games Workshop. It is possible to credit your artists.
It can be done. It's
Games Workshop. You're as grim dark as your cover art, my friends.
You truly are. You truly are.
Yeah,
it's very sad.
It is sad. This has been quite a sad episode.
This is our somber episode.
Yeah, apparently.
If you're out there and you watch anime, we've just lost a battle and now we're all sulking and licking
and
wounds.
Apparently we're going to move on to the final part of today, which is another bit of a sad thing, isn't it, Farhan? The news,
not so much sad as a little bit
wonky looking. The new Slaves to Darkness Demon Prince.
I'm going to ask Neale. Neale, you give us the opinion. What is your opinion on this?
I really want to see a non-face-on angle.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think the angle is flattering at all for the face.
It looks like he doesn't have a nose or depth.
Yeah, if it's an alternate head. If you just put your thumb above the head and stare at the rest of the model's pretty good, right?
I'd argue it's over-designed.
You got a bit of...
Yeah, it does look very busy.
Yeah,
you've got
the skulls on both the left and the right. He's got the hooves and the wings and the axes.
I mean, if you look at the image for it on the left-hand side, from his right shoulder to his right elbow, I don't even know what that is. I can't even tell what I'm looking at. It's
like a skull with a horn. Horn.
There's teeth in there, but you can't tell where they are.
It's a shoulder boulder.
There's a spike sticking towards the camera maybe, and then 2 other spikes that go down the sides of his arm, but it's so hard to tell.
I definitely feel like this is a model that needed more than just one angle when they revealed it.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, they also showed this off after it was leaked.
Can you tell whether the left leg is in front of the model or behind the model?
I think it's behind.
Oh, no, you're hitting me with the optical illusion. I think it's in front.
It's definitely behind. No.
The left leg?
His left leg.
The leg that's on the left leg on the rock.
Yeah, that's in front.
Ahead.
Yeah.
Because he's doing the alternating limbs thing, where the right arm is forward and the left leg is forward.
Yep.
Because the I assume it's like that.
Neale, you've made this image even more cursed.
If you look at the if you look at where the rock is on the base, there's only one skull in front of it, which is like really close to the edge, and then
that's the only
right
thing that gives it away.
Back. Yeah,
because his cloven hoof, right? So his left foot should go backwards from the point of its knee. But instead, it's kind of sticking forward. No, it's sticking. It's got the knee, and then it sticks forward.
You've got the thigh that goes up to the skull angle. Knee pad, and then it goes back immediately, and then down.
Yeah.
What's the bet that there's no gap in between the two segments of the leg behind that knee pad to kind of keep it structurally sound?
What is tying the two legs together? Or is that a tail?
Yeah,
I think it's a tail.
I think that this would make a great Nurgle Demon Prince, especially based on the face, if you took the wings off him. And then
based on the face.
Yeah, I mean, the face is so grotesque
He's just so
looking.
ugly. It must be a Nurgle Demon.
Yeah, it has to be. And then if you take the wings off him, I reckon those wings could be useful for a whole lot of things because the wings are beautiful.
Yeah,
they're great.
They're like mini Bellicor.
Yeah,
they're mini Bellicor wings. Really like them. There's only one thing dangling off them, and you can easily remove that.
Yeah,
and so the wings are really good. And I just realized it is a tail. So the hooves look overdone, but there's actually a tail coming off behind, going from how we look at it.
And it splits into
and splits into a little forked,
like a prong
at the end.
Yeah.
But it's very confusing.
I just think there's too much going on in the model.
Yeah, I would just remove the face, put on a helmet, maybe.
Do you guys reckon that this thing is going to look just like this and only this? Because the Lost Kit for the Demon Prince is very customizable.
I reckon there'll be a head swap and a weapon swap at a minimum.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
I'm a bit afraid of whether or not we're going to be losing out on some build flexibility when it comes to this.
I think that it looks huge. Because if that's still a 60 mil base, it's way bigger than the current Demon Prince model. It's very tall. I mean, I would say, just purely guessing, this thing, it looks like 6 inches tall. It looks as tall as the building. How big is
60 mil in inches? 2.5 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you flip the base on its vertice. Yeah, it'll be 6 inches.
Yeah. That's really tall. That's as tall as an obscuring piece of terrain. That's huge. That's like high flying.
He's not going to get obscured? Take that, pure line of sight. My wing is directly up in the air.
Yeah. He looks massive. I mean, compared to the other Demon Prince, the old one, who's only like about 4 inches tall, maybe 3.5.
And does his armor have fangs coming out of his nipples?
Yeah, he's got fang nips.
Facing down, yeah.
Fang nips.
Fang nips.
I mean, it wouldn't be fangs if they pointed forward, Jackson. Come on.
He's got fips. What do you mean you can have fangs? He can have fangs facing forward. He's got like a fang on his shoulder pad coming out of like a mouth. I guess you'd say it's a horn,
too much
but
happening.
It could be a fang.
It's like a Where's Waldo? Like the more and more you look into the model, the more and more things you see. Do you notice the skull on the left side hanging off of the pauldron?
Yep.
Off a chain? I just noticed that. And he's wearing rings. He's wearing rings.
He's got a kind of like a squish little demon face on his chest.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a demon face on his pelvis and on his both knees as well. And on his shoulder.
He's
on his axe.
He's
well branded. Yeah.
He's got a skull at the bottom of his axe as well.
If you count all the skulls, then there's probably like 30 different faces in this one model.
What's a Warhammer model without skulls? Come on.
I don't mind skulls. I just fips. Is this a new trend?
You know, even the handle of his axe looks very busy. Like normally you get those like ringed handles that are like a grip. This looks very spiked, like gothic. I think that this model just looks like everything is in italics.
It's so busy that the axe looks bent
and underlined.
Yeah,
the head and the head of the axe and it's so busy. The head of the axe and the handle of the axe don't actually look like they line up anymore.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. We got to move on before we kind of lose our souls to this because. I don't know about you guys,
but
it's
so cursed. It's perfect.
It's consuming me. He's got a purple tongue, I think. I'm colorblind. I don't know. Is it purple?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
He's been eating a nice lolly.
and his teeth are really bad. He needs to go to the dentist. Anyways, moving forwards into the more important part of this article.
Yep.
We actually got a roadmap. Shout out to whoever leaked the image of this Demon Prince, because you've given us the greatest thing of all, which is knowing that your book is not here yet.
Yep.
Guys, I feel like this is the last thing that we really need to talk about today, because this thing is quite extensive. Nighthaunt is coming, guys. Nighthaunt book.
Yay!
Wow.
Do we want to translate spring, summer, autumn, and winter?
Yes. So spring would be like really, really soon, because we're just in
We just
May?
started May. Yep.
Yeah, so that would be our autumn. So that means we're going to be seeing Nighthaunt and Daughters of Cain before June.
Yep.
Into the summer, we're going to get like, that's our winter, right? So like that would be June, July, August. We're getting another order battle tome. I hope it's the Seraphon. And a chaos battle tome. I hope it's the Beastman.
Nice.
I would love to see Beastman. I don't know about you guys.
Yep.
But
Me too.
Oh, actually, when the Demon Prince came out, so I assume it'd be Slaves of Darkness. Boo.
No, as someone who's
love.
someone who's lactose intolerant, I'm not interested in Beastman at all.
Farhan, if you look to the right-hand side of the image, you'll see that in winter it says Slaves to Darkness.
No.
So,
I gotta have a look at this image.
Yes. The Chaos Battle Tome very much so could be.
What?
Yeah. So that'll be our summer. So around December, it will be Slaves to Darkness.
How did they announce the last book in the conga line of all the books?
Because someone leaked the image of the Demon Prince, and they were like, yeah, okay, we'll release it now. And
but you didn't need to tell them when the book is coming.
Yep, it's at the end.
They literally went, oh yeah, by the way, everything else is going to come out before this.
Yeah, at the very end.
Besides, what codexes are out for, what battle tomes are out for 3rd edition now? Stormcast?
I have no idea.
Orcs, Fire Slayers, Ideneth Deepkin. And
Grave
that's
Lords.
Is Grave Lords a 3rd edition or is it 2nd edition?
I think it's 3rd.
I think it's
does it have a red cover?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen one in real life.
You only see them in your fake life?
Exactly.
Yep. I think that it is out for the updated one.
No, it's a 2nd edition book.
Oh, there you go.
Really?
So yeah, it was the last book to come out for 2nd edition. So you only got 4 factions, and now you got Nighthaunt and Daughters of Cain. So that leaves a bunch of possible Chaos books because you're getting all of the different sub-factions. Order, obviously that's the Seraphon book. It can't be anything else.
Yeah, agreed.
Then you have another Order one, which is like, I couldn't be bothered. And 1 Chaos and 2 Destruction battle tomes happening in autumn, which is our spring.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a huge amount for one season.
That's a pretty packed
books.
season.
Yeah.
That means we're not getting all of their battle tomes up by the end of the year.
No.
That means I don't know how I feel about this. There's a lot of books coming out.
The last one to come out will be Astra Militarum.
Yep. The
In
last
Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar battle tome to come out
Yes.
will be Astra Militarum.
Yeah.
That is my call.
Yeah.
All
They're
right.
actually they've gone from being the first released to the last released, and on top of that, they're not
In the
even
wrong
in
game.
40k. Yeah, they're going straight into
Yeah.
Sigmar now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. They're so old. They're so behind the times
Yeah.
that they've gone into fantasy realm.
I'll be playing my game, and I'll have my Daughters of Cain ready out on the board, and I'll be like, all right, this is Marathi, she's my big snake lady, and Neil will
and then
show
she
up, be
gets
like,
shot by a Bane
and this
blade.
is my Stormlord and my Bane blade. Bam! Kills me in one hit.
There you go.
And-
They're like,
and to
look, Dark Eldar.
And to prove my prediction, how late they're going to be, that you will not see an Age of Sigmar Astra Militarum Codex out this year.
Unfortunately,
or next year, or the year after that, right?
Here's a question for you, lads.
Okay.
Will the books be more expensive?
Yes.
I think
They've set precedent.
Everything
set
has to be more
precedent.
expensive. I think just in terms of inflation, that will be more expensive. Even like $1, $2, whatever.
Boris Johnson
okay.
has to pay for Brexit somehow.
Damn it, Boris. Get your Brexit out of my Warhammer. Just like Jackson needs to get the kids out of my Warhammer.
Listen, do not joke. The Games Workshop market cap is now bigger than all of UK shipping. Not shipping, fishing. The fishing industry.
See that?
Yeah.
So, they're
Miniatures.
big.
Much more delicious than fish.
Plastic.
So,
I mean, you can collect Ideneth. Forget the fish.
delicious.
Well, guys, I believe we've run out of time.
Oh no, not again.
We've had
dear.
this has definitely been a very odd episode.
Yeah, it has.
Very emotional to begin with, very somber.
Yeah, very heartfelt.
It picked up with
crying.
a bit of fury and anger in the middle.
Yeah.
And it ended up with us going,
Don't buy fish.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the lesson to take away,
Yep.
listener. If you've made it this far, don't buy fish, buy Warhammer.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for coming along.
No, thank you.
Jackson,
you,
do we have
Farhan.
anything to plug? My guy.
Yes. So there is no stream game this weekend. If you're excited for a stream, I will not be there. No one will be streaming because I will be down in Melbourne on the Risky Brawlers channel. So if you would like to see their upcoming battle report with both myself and Evil Jack, you'll have to wait. I believe it's 2 weeks.
Can we just stream 3 hours of an empty room?
No.
No,
No.
it's
But
disappointing.
yeah. Sorry, guys. But yeah, you'll have to wait 2 weeks for that video to come out on their channel if you want to go see that. And otherwise, we have a stream this Thursday, which you guys probably would have already seen, which will be Dark Angels with a new face on the channel, Woody. He is awesome. Very keen to have a game against him. Versus
My God.
Eldar, a Yandon, Wraith host. And stay tuned for 2 upcoming videos as well. A vlog of Maitland and a vlog of Melbourne. Stay
Eminem.
tuned. Yes. And otherwise, more podcasts. Thank you, Farhan.
That's all right.
Thank you for
Thank you guys for listening. Tell us about your friends. I mean it. I was about to say it again. Tell your friends about us. Share us on all the things. Like all the things. If you really enjoy this podcast, give us a 5 stars.
Yep.
Yay.
And become a member on YouTube.
And become a member on YouTube. We might call you out and then absolutely
Roast. Just
Roast.
roast.
Yeah.
roast. Shout out to your friend Bert, though. He's a legend.
Yeah,
All right,
apparently
guys.
become a member so we can roast you. Apparently that's
Yep.
the takeaway here.
That's what
Okay.
you want, right?
Right.
All right.
Yep.
Anyways.
Okay.
Catch you next one, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.